Hello everyone and welcome back to Kinlaig with Artemus. It is now June and we have our silage that needs to be moved. We have the left bunk to clear as we have some maize to forage. And we also have our canola field that is ready to harvest as well. But we are starting by clearing out the bunk and then we are moving on to the foraging. So we have the right bunk here, which is done fermenting. And this left one, which was from our first grass harvest, which we need to get cleared out. So we are taking it to our cattle, whatever they can take. And the rest will be sold. So Artemus will be grabbing the trailer and we should prepare our JCB with the front loader. Probably grab a weight as well. We have determined these will be quite a few trips. But we are just taking it to the feed and grain down the road. So they should be fairly quick trips. With the front loader on, we just need a trailer to scoop the silage into. And I think Artemus is on it, so we'll get our first scoop here. There we go. And we'll just wait for him to show up for the trailer. So we will get this done, and I will see you then. we go. Just had a little bit left for our final trip. So we'll get this down to the feed and grain. We made a decent chunk of money from this. And that will offset the rentals for our maize harvest, as we are having to rent a forage harvester as well as a large trailer. As with this trailer we would be constantly carting and not getting much harvesting done. So we'll make use of the larger trailer probably for the canola harvest as well, as we need to get that done today as well. We'll get this dropped off and then we can park up the trailer and we can go ahead with the foraging. Now a total of 112,000. So that should keep us covered for the rentals. And get the trailer parked up. As well as the New Holland. And then we are hopping over in the JCB. Our larger one. To go grab the trailer. And Artemus is gonna go in the Range Rover. And pick up the forage harvester. Probably gonna need a weight on the front. And we can dash down to the store. Go pick up the new goodies. Here we are. We have a New Holland forage harvester to match our JCB in the yellow. And we have this Bergman trailer. So we should have to take a fair fewer trips back to the farm with this one. And I believe this one has a conveyor. So there's no tilting with this one. Then we have the New Holland FR780. And a 6-meter header to go with that. So I think Artemus will hop in the New Holland and we will do the first stint of carting. But this is looking like quite the setup here. There he goes, the New Holland. Best get out of the way. Beacons on and follow along. So we'll follow Artemus over to the field, where he's gonna get started with the foraging, and then we plan on swapping over halfway through. Now this field entrance is pretty tight, and there isn't much space around it. So we'll have to follow very closely behind Artemus here, and try to catch the chaff going over the tractor. So we'll get this field done, and I will see you then. There we go, that's our maize harvested. Can get the harvester folded back up. And Artemus is just gonna dash on ahead with the last of our chaff. I think we'll be bringing the harvester up to the yard. We're gonna have to return it later on. But next we will be moving on to the canola harvesting. And I think we'll be using the trailer, as it has a much greater capacity than our blue one. And I think we can go ahead and park the harvester just around here. There we go. Ready to take back once we have the time. Our bunker silo is looking quite full. That is good. $226,000 liters so far, plus whatever Artemus has in the trailer. 265,000 in total. That is not too bad. Quite a bit more than our other silo. More than double that. So that is a nice haul. So as it turns out, the Bergman trailer here is not suited for the canola. So we will have to use our budding trailer. So Artemus will be taking care of that. We can go ahead and get our combine fired up. And then I think Artemus will be around shortly to bring on the header. And as I remember, it is a bit of a squeeze to get into the field. I think we'll get it sorted. Now while Artemus gets in position, we can go ahead and get the harvester unfolded. There we go, header is on. So we can go ahead and fire up here. Get started with the harvesting. So as per usual, we are gonna be splitting this job. So we're gonna start here and then we're gonna swap over with Artemus. So I will see you when we're all done. There we go. That's the rest of the canola. Now we end up taking the first load straight to be sold, as we will do with this one. Since our silo has both bays full, we'll have to sell directly. There we go. We'll get this taken to the sell point, and Artemus is gonna finish up getting the combine and header back to the yard. So we'll go ahead and dash over to the feed and grain with our canola. Get that sold. That is 16,000 for our trailer that was just shy of 60% full. So not too bad. So you can go ahead and go back to the yard, and we'll wrap up the day there. So we'll get the trailer parked up. As well as our new Holland. And that is all for today. We did get a few jobs in, and we made some decent amount of money, even though we yet again had to rent some equipment. But next time we are gonna go ahead and take a look at selling some of the fish we've raised, as well as some other things we have planned to be revealed soon enough. But if you enjoyed today's episode, drop a like down below, comment if you have any tips, tricks, or suggestions. Down in the description you can find a link to Artemus' channel, as well as a link to the Highland fishing expansion with my partner code. And of course, make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss the next episode.